There we go. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Johnson. I'm the program coordinator for Buckeye Wellness out of the Office of the Chief Wellness Officer. And welcome to our August Lunch and Learn today. Couple of upcoming events. Our next Lunch and Learn for September will be on the 22nd. It'll be in BRT, the room we are in. There will also, as always, be a live webcast option if you aren't able to get here in person and join us. We have our next Buckeye Wellness Innovator Orientation on October 17th in Heminger Hall. If you're not familiar with the Buckeye Wellness Innovator Program, you don't know what a BWI is, Buckeye Wellness Innovator, they are essentially wellness champions that we have throughout the university and all the different departments that work to bring wellness to their department. I feel like people can't see me behind this. So you go through an orientation with us, you learn about the different wellness departments on campus, you get to meet them and figure out how we can work together to help your department. So if you're someone who's really interested in wellness, you're passionate about wellness, want to be more involved, get to meet some like-minded people. It's a great program. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, that is in October. And then lastly, we have group fitness classes going on. We have them pretty consistently Monday through Friday. Some are in the morning, some are at the lunch hour, some are in the evening. So we're trying to cater to everyone's schedule. Would love to get you out for some. Our instructors are fantastic, high energy, can give modifications if you need it. They're all great. So would highly recommend and would love to see you out at some of those fitness classes. During the presentation today, if you do have a question, you can hold it to the end. We'll have a lot of time at the end to go through any questions. And then also everyone should have a worksheet for today that you picked up out front. It did go out online as well. So our online folks can join in. And then if you prefer the online option here, have your laptop, want to do it there, that's fine as well. If you didn't get one, I'll bring some copies in and just call me over. But I will now introduce our fabulous speaker today. We have Cori Seif. She is an ACSM exercise physiologist who currently works as a health and well-being coach for the Center of Wellbeing and Prevention in the College of Nursing. She started her career in Division I collegiate athletics as a CSCCA certified strength and conditioning coach with a Team USA weightlifting certification. During those years, she presented at the Northeast Ohio Strength Conference, as well as participated in national conferences. Cori has continued to follow her passion for supporting others into the field of health coaching and offers individual and group coaching workshops and wellness activities. She is honored and inspired by the opportunity to be an encouraging support in others' health journeys and is enthusiastic about celebrating their success. Her personal experience as a professional athlete living overseas and now raising a multicultural family has strongly influenced her view of living well, especially nutrition, and drastically impacted her health for the better. So please join me in welcoming Cori Seif.
Thank you. So my name is Cori, and that last TED bit is in there because my nutrition has drastically changed from what I was raised and what I was as a kid, which means we all have the power to decide every day how we want to eat and how we want to take care of our bodies. So today, if you have worksheets, make sure you have dots because we're going to talk about eating more colors. I know you're eating, so if I'm interrupting you with hand stuff, I apologize, but we're going to interact a lot with hands. So if you have ever looked for nutritional information, online, magazines, professional, social media, from any source, snap with one of your hands. Good math. How many of you have tried to improve your health and well-being through nutrition efforts? Use your other hand to snap twice. Well, big topic. If you have found information online that was amazing, but in no way put it into practice in your everyday life, use both hands to snap repeatedly. Heard a lot of snaps, and I'm right here snapping with you. Why is it that there's great healthy behaviors out there that we know about, that we learned about, but we can't seem to put them into action? This is what we want to bridge today. Some of the hurdles are, it's overwhelming, it's confusing, there's a lot of barriers. We want to take you past that first one today by leaning into your personal skills. What do you have that you're strong at that we can use to get over that first hurdle and get into action? So when we're talking about nutrition, we know that across the board confirmed, we should eat more fruits and vegetables, right? But yet most people don't. The World Health Organization states about 1.7 million deaths worldwide are linked to low fruit and vegetable consumption. I've seen that number be way higher in other studies. We know that it can reduce the risk of major diseases and delay onset age-related disorders. We know that low consumption could be a top 10 risk factor, and that the daily intake of fruits and vegetables worldwide remains well below recommendations, despite established health benefits. We know this, like many healthy behaviors, we know we should do it, but why don't we? So we're gonna take this first step and turn you into an empowered expert in your fruits and vegetables. Does everyone know their colors? Roy G. Biv? Yeah, this is kindergarten, you got this. If you saw a fruit or a vegetable, could you tell me what color it is? Yeah, congratulations. You all now have the skills to be your own fruit and vegetable expert. And this is because we know that the color of foods relates to the micronutrient profile. We know that the hue is related to antioxidants. We know that from a very long time ago, this is not news for anyone, that we eat with our eyes first. We visually choose foods that look appetizing, that look healthy for so many reasons. Even in 1996, we know that most nutritious foods are chosen by their color and appearance. So this is not new. Eating in color is definitely not a new concept. Wexner Medical Center, even one of their blog posts, has put up rainbow nutrient eating. So this is not a revolutionary nutrition secret I am sharing with you today. But what we want to find out is, how do we put you into action? I'm not here to share with you a bunch of information and education, because there's nothing I can tell you that you probably don't already know about the fact that eating fruits and vegetables is healthy for you. But our aim here today is to launch you into action, build some personal skills, and get you what you need to do to start actually eating more vegetables on a regular basis based on your own personal needs. So we're going to do that in 3 steps today. We need to gather some resources. We're going to identify a lot of colorful fruits and vegetables. We'll talk about the micronutrients. It's a fun fact. We need to evaluate. Point A, how many fruits and vegetables do I eat now? As well as, what's point B on that roadmap? How many fruits and vegetables should I be eating to get the benefits I want? Once we have an A and a B, we can create a plan. We can make an appropriate road plan. The last thing is, we got to do it. We're going to create. You should be able to walk out of here today with an individual plan in hand with the support needed to eat more colors or eat more fruits and vegetables. Pretty simple, right? Ready to hop to? So on your sheet, look for this rainbow one that has the red, orange, yellow, green. The things you know, the things you've been an expert at since you were probably 5 or younger. If you have a pen or a pencil in front of you, I encourage you to cheat. Open your Google, steal words from my slides, gather as many resources as you can in this moment. You're going to have 30 seconds to write down as many fruits and vegetables as you can that are in that color. We'll do about 30 seconds for each color. So we're going to start with red. Those of you are already starting, I'm not even mad. Get them written in, just go. So red first, are we ready? And go. Red foods have the micronutrients, vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, and antioxidants. You don't have to copy mine, just think. Red apples, raspberries, cherries. Feel free to shout out any that you can think of, even if you don't see them up here. Tomatoes. Radishes. Watermelon. You have 4 seconds. Don't worry, you can add more later. These sheets are yours to take. I know it's the first week of semester. Your hand's going to be burning. Moving on to orange. Orange foods have vitamin C, potassium, vitamin K, beta carotene, which the body then changes into vitamin A. Shout out some orange foods. What we got?
Orange.
Orange. Brainstorming over here. Carrot. Cantaloupe. Pumpkin. Butternut squash. I hear, was that persimmon? What did I hear? Peppers. Yeah, peppers are going to be used in a few categories. Last 5 seconds. We're moving on to yellow for those that are trying to get ahead of the curve. Yellow fruits and vegetables, in general, are great sources of vitamin C, potassium, and antioxidants. Notice there's a lot of similarity. Red, orange, yellow had a lot of the same nutrients in it. Anecdotal coincidence that they are similar on the color wheel spectrum as well. Bell peppers, chili pepper, peach, star fruit. If anyone's had durian fruit, my husband loves it, me not so much. Corn, nectarines. What other yellow ones do you guys know? Again, you can Google this. You can get this information anywhere you need. This is simple stuff to grasp. We're not making this complicated anymore. You got about 4 more seconds before we shift away from these kind of common nutrients and move into green. And green. Green foods have vitamin K, magnesium, potassium, dietary nitrates, and folates. Could be any kind of herb, any kind of lettuce, any kind of green, collard greens, turnip greens, anything like this. Broccoli, okra, avocado, green chilies, sprouts, zucchinis. Some of these might be new to you, but a majority of these you've probably seen before because you're an expert on fruits and vegetables and you know your colors. We'll give you about 8 seconds left on green. This one gets a little trickier. You might see less blue purples readily available to you. Blue purple foods contain lipocene flavonoids and vitamin D and K. Blueberries, huckleberries, some radishes maybe, red onion, trickster, coming in on 2 slides maybe. Eggplant if you eat the skin. Purple cabbage, good call. You're on the home stretch, guys. We only have 2 left if your hand's struggling. You've got 5 seconds on blues and purples. Brown. We don't want to negate the browns and the whites. They may not get a lot of hype in the nutrition world, but they still have things that are good for us. Brown fruits and vegetables are high in potassium, fiber, beta-glucans, lignans, and ready for this one? Epigallocatechin gallate. So I'm not a nutrition expert. I'm not going to say, did you get enough EGCG milligrams this week? But I now can say, hey, did you get some brown foods in? And we know that that nutrient got into your body. We're talking almost any kind of nut, oats, cocoa beans, coffee, chocolate. Brown's a good section, guys. We don't mess with it. Spices like cinnamon are coming from tree bark. Mushrooms, flax seeds. Last few seconds to write down some browns. And you've almost made it. We're on to white. And white. White foods contain allicin, phytochemicals, anthocyanins, sulfur, fiber, and potassium. Who knows some white foods? What are some of your favorite ones? Cauliflower. Onion. Radishes. They get on 2 browns. You get 2 colors with that vegetable. Rice. Water chestnuts. Which one? Celery root. Yeah, I'll believe you. I don't know. You're the expert on that, so I trust you. Coconut. Lots of white fruits and vegetables that have lots of good nutrients for us. So you have this sheet with all these resources now. Looking at that sheet, circle a few that you know you like. You might want to go back later and find all of them, but look through your colors and be like, oh, I love apples, circle them. I love eggplant, circle it. If you know you like this fruit or vegetable, make sure it ends up in your house. Make sure it ends up within your reach on your order for groceries, because this is literally the lowest lying fruit. You can start eating this one now because you probably already like it and probably already know how to prepare it. Secondly, that this is a good resource to you is underline the ones you've never tried. If you wrote down a few where you're like, I have never tasted that, but you jotted it down, underline it, because this is your new inspiration. Maybe I want to see if my grocery store carries it. Maybe I can find a recipe using that and figure out if I like it or not. So now that we have a lot of resources, you're an expert, you know colors, you know fruits and vegetables, and you just proved it by putting a ton on a piece of paper. Let's start evaluating. We're moving to the next step. So if you flip your page over, I guess for you guys, it's on the same page. The next one has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I denote as an R. I'm sorry if that's weird. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We need to figure out how many fruits and vegetables am I currently having so that I can decide what's the best step towards my end goal of what should be recommended. So we're going to do this together. If you're here with us in person, you got the colored dots. If you're with us on Zoom, then you can do this with colored pencils, markers. You can just use your pencil to write the letter of the first, letter of the color. However you'd like to mark it is fine. Simple. We are not measuring amounts, grams, serving sizes, none of that. Super simple. Did that color enter your body and give you the nutrients? So let's do Thursday together because today's Friday and it's not done yet. It's still happening. Think about yesterday's breakfast. What did you eat for breakfast yesterday? I'll give you an example, and then if anyone feels comfortable, you can throw one out. Say you had a egg omelet with spinach and tomato. You think about that breakfast, spinach, 1 green dot goes in your Thursday rainbow wedge. Tomato, 1 red dot goes in that wedge. It doesn't matter if you ate 10 tomatoes or 1 tomato. Just 1 red dot because you ate that color that day. So does anyone have an example of a breakfast that had fruits or vegetable that we can help color dot up? Blueberries. So your breakfast contained blueberries. Was that the only fruit and vegetable it had in it? Okay. Like breakfast can be hard. That's a tricky one. So 1 blue dot would go on your breakfast. Let's think about yesterday's lunch. In that same row, you're still in Thursday. What did you eat for lunch? Did anyone have a sandwich that had a side of chips and salsa? Because salsa's got tomatoes, there's 1 red dot. It's got onions in it, there's a white dot. It's got jalapeno in it, there's a green dot. It's got cilantro in it, there's a green dot. Does that make sense? We're not measuring by size and amount. Just did that color go into your body? Thinking about your dinner. Yesterday night's dinner, if you can remember last night, what did you eat for dinner last night? If you had a salad with your dinner, 1 green dot for lettuce. Did it have shaved carrots on it? 1 green dot, 1 orange dot for carrots. Did it have cucumbers on it? Another green dot. So it's just the food and the color. Add that color dot using a marker or a color pencil, however you'd like to denote it on that sheet. What you see forming is a wedge of a visual measurement of the micronutrients you got that day. Super easy to understand. You have the count, you have a visual, easy go. No numbers needed. What about today, this morning? If you already had breakfast this morning, move to Friday, or if you already had lunch, ooh, we all had lunch, let's do lunch. So if you had lunch, if you had this salad, add a green dot. I see carrots in it, add an orange dot. Sorry, I'm just gonna like stare at your lunch. I see broccoli, add a green dot. What else is in there? Tomatoes, add a red dot. Croutons are not a fruit or vegetable, so we're not going to mark them. But yeah. You had orange peppers, so she would add an orange dot. Do we get how to assess our nutrient intake? Cool, it's easy, right? Add the color dots, add the markers. I'm gonna need your hands in a second, so if you're eating, chew your bite and put your fork down. 10 is, yes, 100%. I'm going to finish this whole sheet and have a whole week of assessment. 0 is, no way, Cori, don't sign me up for your silly games. Show me with your fingers, are you going to complete and finish this color assessment this next week? I see 0s, I see 5s, I see 10s, I see 7s. So we see everything. There's no judgment. There's not good or bad answers. The curious question is, why? Why are you that number? If you're a 10, why are you so confident? What about it makes you so excited? If you're a 6 or a 5, what's in your way? Is there something stopping you? Is it tedious? Is it hard? Is it not interesting? What about it is the barrier to you being able to accomplish it? So it's curiosity. What's your number and why is your number? So we have our starting point, point A. We need the end of our roadmap. How many fruits and vegetables should we be eating? Notice there's a bunch of different recommendations. All of these are from accredited national sources, so there's no wrong answers. You get to choose the right one for you. American Heart Association says 4 to 5 servings of each, 8 to 10 servings of fruit and vegetables. World Health Organization, 400 grams. If you're like the measury type of person, this is up your alley. 5-day campaign, 2 fruit, 3 vegetable, pretty simple concept. Balanced plate here at the Buckeye Dining Services. Half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. That's in line with the USDA My Plate. Mayo Clinic has a different approach. 1 fruit and vegetable with breakfast, 2 with lunch, 3 with dinner and snacks for the rest of the day. And then the USDA has a more in-depth chart that goes by age, sex, things like this, and uses cup measurements. So as you glance over these, which one caught your eye? Which one did your eye go back to of that one looks easy, or that one makes sense to me? Or man, 400 grams, I love measuring food. That would not be my choice. So whichever one is right for you might be your end game. That's your big goal. That's not your first step. That's not what I'm doing tomorrow. That's where I want to be to get the health benefits of eating more fruits and vegetables. So we have I currently eat X amount of vegetables and fruits, and I want to eat Y amounts of fruits and vegetables. There's a really big point here I don't want to miss on. No one lacks desire. I want to make more money. I want to have better work-life balance. I want to feel less anxiety. I want to lose weight. What we need to do is be able to actually support that desire by building the personal skills and developing the roadmap that's going to see you through. That starts with a really good individual plan, which is what we want to do today. So we ready to actually create the individual plan that you get to walk out of here with today? Yeah. So you'll see these 2 pages on yours. We're going to start at the light bulb that has a puzzle piece on it. This is the I want to. This is your desire. You can phrase this however you want, but for the purpose of what we're doing today, it's I want to eat more colors. I want to eat more fruits and vegetables. You can phrase that however you would like. But our goal, probably everyone's goal, should be I want to eat more fruits and vegetables. We know it's beneficial for us, and we know a lot of people don't hit the mark. Once you've jotted down your desire, your I want, go to that first bubble on the left. Why am I doing this? Am I doing it right now because everyone else is doing it and I'm just writing in too so she doesn't call on me? Is it because I really want to support, I have a marathon coming up and I want to support my training? Is it I have an annual coming up and I want to be able to bring down my A1C numbers? I want to live to be a centurion. Why would you want to do this? Why do you want to eat more fruits and vegetables? Could be a few words, could be a sentence, could be a picture. However you want to embody that importance. The bubble on the right, what are the benefits? Remember, you're the expert, you know this. I'm not giving you any new information here. What are the benefits of you eating more fruits and vegetables? Is it being a good example for your family or your kids? Is that a possible benefit? Is it having better blood plasma numbers when you come out of that annual? Is it increasing or having a better PR time on that race you were preparing for? What's your return on your investment? Why would I work hard to eat more? What am I going to get from this? Now that we have your I want and we know why, we're going to build a SMART goal. You might have seen different meanings for the SMART in that. We're just going to roll with this one. All of them are good. So if you find this different than normal, that's okay. We need to be specific. How will I do this? If you say, well, I'm just going to eat more fruits and vegetables, this isn't very specific. Are you going to eat a piece of fruit after dinner? Are you going to think about your color dot sheet? Am I going to make sure I have one of every color dot by the end of the week? Am I going to eat 2 more red dots each day? Am I going to 3 times a week have a vegetable heavy breakfast? So what are you specifically going to do? What's the first step towards eating more fruits and vegetables for you? Everyone will have a different answer here. Go ahead and jot in your thoughts. And then think about how we're going to measure it, the M in your SMART goal. When will I do this? How will I know I've succeeded? What's the measure? So at the end of the week, did I have those 3 breakfasts that had vegetables in them? Yes or no? This also blends a little bit into accountability because you might like check mark it on your calendar. You might be putting the dots onto your sheet. So it's a little bit of accountability mixed in with measuring. But what is the actual specific measurement? I'm going to have 1 cup of sliced pears after dinner every night of the working weekdays. Be very specific on your measurement of how you're calculating it. The next resource we need to build in is what skills and things do you need? Is this achievable? And how do we keep it accountable? So what do you need? Let's use that example of I'm going to have breakfast that has vegetables. Do you need a recipe for that? Do you know some off the top of your head, or do we need to seek out some recipes and try some things? Was there a fruit or vegetable you really wanted to try but isn't sold at your local market? How do you get a hold of it? The other piece of that is the accountability. Is there someone you can tell that's either going to cheer you on or hold you to it? Who can you get on your team to help make sure this happens? Can you do it? Is it appropriate? And who can help you get there? The R of SMART is relevant. Why am I doing this now? How does this benefit my big long-term vision of health and wellness? So when you talk about, I picture myself being in this form of well-being, does this actually step towards that? Might be a great idea. Everyone needs to eat fruits and vegetables, but if you're already eating fruits and vegetables, is there a different step or way you could take the SMART goal to get you towards your long-term goal? So is it relevant? Is it something you actually piece towards your end game goal? And then the last one is, when will I know I've done it? When is it done by? So time. Are you going to eat a piece of fruit after dinner, Monday through Friday for 1 week, for 4 weeks, for 3 months? What's your timeline that you know at the end of this time, I will be able to look back and measure, yes, out of the month that I wanted to eat a cup of fruit after every dinner, I got 18 out of the 20 available. So what's your timeline? Put an end cap on it. With these pieces of information, we can now squish together and change your I want statement into an I will statement. So we now have a SMART goal. So use those pieces to say, I will eat more fruits and vegetables by, and you add in your pieces of the puzzle. So here's an example using the evening one, the fruit after dinner. I will eat more fruits and vegetables by eating 1 cup of sliced pears Monday through Friday after dinner for 1 month. SMART goal, I will statement. Go ahead and jot that in. Give yourselves a few seconds, formulate the words and thoughts. Once you think you've got that pretty formulated, you made a sentence, it has the components, I will do my goal by very specific information. We are going to lean hard into some positive psychology. 1, your brain loves being correct. The more times you read this, say this, or write it, the more chance it's just going to make it happen. Secondly, it loves things in 3s. It's like a free dopamine kick. So on this next sheet, we are going to end up writing this 3 more times today. Right at the top is our first time. I am confident I will blank. Feel free to paraphrase it. You could say, eat more vegetables, or you could skip that part and say, I will have fruit after dinner. However you want to paraphrase, it's fine. But I am confident I will blank, fill in your SMART goal. And then look at those smiley faces and circle. Kind of like the 10-finger question I asked you with the fruit dots. How confident are you you're going to accomplish that goal that you specified? Could be a 10, you could be a 2. Right below that, you're going to jot in that number. I feel blank, whatever your score was, confident, and write down why. Why are you that confident? Even if you're a 2, tell me why you're a 2. Could be notes, could be pictures, again, however you like to illustrate it. What about your confidence score makes it what it is? And then this one's hard when you see it in reading, but I will phrase it to you as well. You're going to write in your score again, I am blank confident, and not a lower number because. So if I was going to say this to you as a question, I would say, if you were an 8, why are you an 8 and not a 6? Tell me why you chose 5 and not 4. If you're a 10, you're feeling super good. Why are you a 10 and not an 8? That's how that question would phrase if someone asked you directly. Why are you the higher score rather than anything lower than what you actually chose? Here comes our second brain trick of the page. You're going to write it again. How important is blank, your specific SMART goal to you? How important is eating more fruits and vegetables by blank, 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 when, why, etc. And then you're going to use that number skill to gauge and circle. How important is this to me? Is this a high priority? Like, wow, I really got to get this intact. Or is it, yeah, it's important, it's on my radar, but it's not feeling really urgent to you? As before, we're not judging our answer, but we're curious about our answer. So here's the 3rd time you have to write your SMART goal. I promised last time, let's just hammer it in the brain. Blank, your SMART goal, is what'd you score important? Because what are the reasons this is important for you? Even if you scored a 2, you gave it some form of importance. Jot in why it was that important. Pencil still going, love it. Most are stopped. You get to take this with you, so don't worry. You can keep elaborating on this and fine-tuning this as you go. In fact, I recommend you do. This can kind of be like a first draft for you. Alrighty, you've made a plan. You know what you want to do. You have ways of how you're going to do it, and you've assessed how confident you are about doing it. One of my favorite and last steps is, how are you going to acknowledge or celebrate your success? We're going there. We're just picturing it. You've succeeded. You did it. How do we celebrate? Is it a self high five? Is it like a victory jump? Go ahead and shout out some answers. How do you like to celebrate when you do something good? Treat. Hopefully a healthful treat, so we're not working against our success. But yeah, a treat. What about a retail trip? Retail treat? Seeing friends? Maybe just posting it on social media, or you're telling that friend, hey, I did it, I accomplished this. That might be intrinsic treat enough for you. But find a way to already envision that and celebrate your success, whether it's with someone, whether it's by yourself, whether it's internally, whether it's buying yourself a treat. But overall, go ahead and think about that. Like, what's my prize? What's my reward? That might add a piece of that motivation you haven't had before. So if you notice during this presentation, I probably have to actually apologize to you. I came into your lunch and learn and basically gave you no health information education. So I'm so sorry for that. But I do hope that what we gave you was the support to build the personalized skills you need to actually implement behaviors that are going to positively affect your health and well-being. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Cori, for that fun and interactive presentation. So we now have a lot of time for questions. Before we do that, I just want to note, in a second, I'll change the slide and there'll be a QR code. So if you've been to one in the last 2 months or so, you know we've kind of switched our evaluations to doing it with a QR code, and an email will go out as opposed to like having paper copies. So we're trying to be environmentally friendly. So when the QR code's up there, if you have your phone, you can put your camera on, hold it up and tap on it and it should pop up. Like I said, if not, an email will go out. So we have a lot of time for questions. What questions do you have? If you're in person, please wait for me to get you the mic and then say your question so people online can hear. Anyone with a question?
It's a good sign. It means you're just ready to go do it. Yeah.
Do you mind clicking to the next? Just put the.
Yeah. Oh, my thing.
Oh, I thought you had the clicker on you.
I do.
Just, while you ponder over your questions, or anyone online have questions? Chat box. You have a question?
Do you have any suggestions when in your household you have like a person, like if it's just two of you and you buy produce and you want to eat the rainbow, but the other person may not like all of the rainbow. And so I struggle with food waste, and I struggle with trying to sneak vegetables into dishes.
Yeah, that's actually really common. We had some requests to see if we could make a whole educational content around, one, just buying and storing produce in a way to not have food waste, because I don't know if anyone's seen a pack of raspberries lately, but it's no joke. And the second one is, how do you deal with family members that could be less than on board with your idea of eating? So you said sneak it in. Is that something you've tried before?
Oh, yeah. Some people. I like kale, so I try to sneak it into fish. But I can only get away with so much.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're onto a right idea. You're saying, I think sneak it in is going to be my best way, unless you can just find another recipe that they do like, if they're up for exploring eating. There are a lot of resources for sneaking it in. There's a book from, I'm not sure how many years ago. I think it's geared more towards kids, but I think that works great with adults most of the time too, of how to, it's called The Sneaky Chef, where you're basically putting like black bean brownies and broccoli and things like this into brownies that kids eat. So sneaking it in as your first idea is one way to do that. Another way is having that conversation around getting them involved. So maybe you have them fill out their color sheet. What colors do you like? So that you can find the ones they do like, and then you can play off those if you like more than they do. Or trying to see, do they want to cook something? Maybe there's probably, you could go a lot of directions here, but usually involving them is when you see the most response from engaging someone. But I like your idea of sneaking it. That's what I do with my family a lot too.
We had a comment from Brenda in the chat saying, how about frozen foods? So I'm assuming in reference to food waste and whatnot of having frozen.
Yeah. So actually, Brenda's probably chiming in for your answer. Frozen is a great way. I am not a nutritional expert. I am not a dietitian. From my understanding, frozen foods can be just as helpful as fresh because they're now freezing them on site, fresh off the garden. So if you have the option to fresh, yes, does it change the texture and taste in a lot of foods? Totally. You can't just buy a bag of frozen Brussels sprouts and think it's going to be the same as a fresh seared one. But if you find the tolerable that you like, frozen can be a great way to preserve. If it's freezable or if you buy it frozen, and then you can portion out better. So Brenda's got a good answer there. Thanks, Brenda.
Any other questions? Online? Okay. I don't see any hands. I don't see anything online. Well, thank you all for coming today. Sorry, I thought it was a comment. Thank you all for coming today. Like I said, everything will be sent out in an email. So if you didn't get it beforehand, if you maybe registered after the list was sent to me, you'll receive everything afterwards. So if you want to go through and do the activity again, you can do that. So once again, thank you, Cori. This was fantastic. Thank you to everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.